Hello everyone, welcome to Trading Basics. As a lot of you know, I'm GhostRyder, aka Ghost, and this first video I want to do is basically going over my long-term technique I use to basically buy and sell my Bitcoin. And there's two things that I use, and it's basically just the fixed range volume profile and the rectangle tool. Now what I'm going to do is go from the bottom or the start of the impulse all the way up to the top, and I'm going to look for the key areas of where I see the most buying and selling. And then from there, what I want to do is identify the bullish and bearish order blocks. Now, if you don't know what an order block is, it's just basically the last red candle down before you get an impulse up, or the last green candle up before you get a bearish impulse down. So basically, I have a few areas of interest I'm looking at here on this chart, which would be down here, and I see that there's an order block. Well, let me go to the 3-day, because sometimes I start from the 3 and work down. We have an order block here, and then we have an order block here. These are your two main order blocks, and they're also, you can see there's confluence here with the volume profile. Now the next thing I'll do is I'll move down to the 1-day chart and refine the order blocks a little bit, and you can begin to see the other order blocks above. So we got this red candle, we have this one here, and we have this one here. And basically, order blocks are where the big money blocks price from moving in one direction, and this is generally the area where you see money change hands from, dumb money to smart money, or smart money dumps in the bearish scenario to the people FOMOing in. But now we've identified our three main order blocks on this current move up. So from here, let's just take a quick look at how this begins to play out, because the one thing you got to remember is below every low there lies liquidity. Retail traders are told to put their stop losses below the swing low. So when you look at these areas, we have liquidity built down here, we have liquidity here, and there's some liquidity here, here, here. All those areas people have stop losses. So the market's going to look to move back into these areas at some point to take out this liquidity. So if we move ahead, we see the market moves up, and then boom, we have a reversal, right into this order block. Now currently, what I would do here is we have a little order block here where price came into an impulsive move, and this order block is now being mitigated because orders that were in here are now being filled. But remember, we have liquidity here, and people are now putting stop losses here. So let's continue to watch how this plays out. Boom, they come down, take the stop losses, and now we have a break of structure. The structure was making a lower low. So we took out the liquidity. This order block is now invalid as it's been removed, and we can begin to see that there's a change in trend. So at this point, what I'd be looking for is a pullback, probably up into here, to exit any position I'd be in. So let's continue further. We move up. We got liquidity again building here, here, here. But what happens is we never make it up to this next order block. And we're sweeping these areas of liquidity, getting ready to move down. This is the first sign that we're getting a change in direction. So now we have a couple key areas. We have this area here, which we know Oh, I'm sorry, I deleted that volume profile. Let me put that back up. We pull the volume profile from here to here. Is we don't have that much support in this area. There's little volume here, but we have, as you can see on the volume profile, a higher volume node here. So this gives you, a better area of probability that price is eventually going to retrace into this order block, because what you can do is just pull that node here from high to low, and then you can see this is where the most trading is taking place. So as we get back into this, right now we have an order block here, which after we broke structure, I wouldn't look to be placing any orders. My target would be putting orders down here. So as we come down, we break right through this order block. This order block is no good no more. Price didn't bounce, and the thing that you want to see when you come into a bullish order block would be for the price to come down, move back up, come into it, and then impulse out of there. That's not happening. So, you're getting another key sign that, okay, we're getting a change in trend. So we can take this order block out here, and boom, what do we have? All the liquidity that was built here comes down and hits right into this order block. Excuse me. So now at this point, what I do is I see we have an order block building here. So at some point, we're going to look for the market to come back up to retest this level, because in these order blocks there's liquidity. And what I like to do then is take my volume profile, pull it from top to bottom, and you can see up here there's a lot of transfer of money and a lot of trading going on. So this eventually become again another area to watch. But let's let this play out a little bit more, because now we've come into our order block, and this would be the first area that I'd look to buy. We come down, I'd look to buy probably at the bottom of this block. And what I'm thinking now is, I know I have another small order block here with not so much volume and a lower one here. So if I buy at this level, my next probability is I could either push back up into here, or I can capitulate down to about 23,000, which again, I'd place another Bitcoin accumulation. So we'll let this play out a little bit more. We bounce up, and boom, within this range, my orders would be getting filled. And while we're doing that, we've created another order block in this area. So now, remember, on all these moves down here, people put stop losses. So we took out these stop losses. You have stop losses above here, here, and here. That's all liquidity, and when these stop losses get hit, they trigger buy orders. Buy orders will drive up price. So just keep that in mind, that all these ways down here, that's what we're doing, is building liquidity. Let's go back to the daily time frame. We have a nice candle there, hammer candle. We retest the order block. We start to move up. Oh, we move down again. People look at these things as trend lines. Basically, what I see this here as is all money. This is all liquidity above here. And the reason why the market makers do this is they drive price down, lower, lower. They build the liquidity here. They get the market flowing down like this. And then all of a sudden, they've built so much money in this range, it's enough for them to, boom, pop the price up. So that's basically what they're doing here. So now, right now, we have a bearish order block here and a bearish order block here. So at this point, I have my buys in. I could set a small take profit here if I want, or take profit here. And once we get the bounce, boom, we hit this liquidity, impulse up into the order block. Now, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll come down into like the 4-hour range and, check out where we're getting the most transfer of money to determine where the next order block could be for a pullback. And now this gets into, like I said, you can do this on any time frame, and I generally trade 4-hour, 1 hour, and then accumulate and do long trades on the daily and 3-day. But for me, that would be an area of interest I'd be looking at for a pullback if I wanted to add more to this position. So at this point, we see a bounce off the bottom. We've now taken out the liquidity in this level, and our next level is up here. So let's see what happens. We let this run, and I think we barely would have got filled. No, we probably would have missed getting filled. And then we push up, take out this liquidity, and off we go to mitigate the higher level order block. Let me move this back to the daily. And there we go. We hit that order block. So this would have been if you entered your trade down here, instead of being scared, you have another level down here. Say if you enter about here and you get out here, you got 65%. So we've taken out this order block. We have another one currently right here, and then we have a higher level one here. So at this point, I would have taken some profits. I'd look for a pullback. And the pullback, let's take a look here. Let's go out to the daily. I would probably mark this order block right here. I would pull my volume profile. We have a point of interest with a high node volume here. We have a bullish order block here. So basically, I would set a limit buy probably right about there. Maybe a little bit higher just to make sure it gets filled. So now let's let this run. Boom. Now we're coming back to take out all this liquidity that's below. Again, remember the target's this order block because this is where the most transactions are taking place. And that's where money's been changing hands. Boom. And we come down, hit my order block, and then I'm filled again. So now the only thing left is, let's see how high this pushes up and if we take out the top. Obviously, we know the answer, but let's just let this run out. Price comes up into this order block. The order block's mitigated. That could be another take profit area. And, our ultimate goal now is to, scale out some profits over here. And there, it's hit. We break the top. We take out the liquidity that's at the top. And then what we do is we pull the volume profile from low to high, and we begin to see this as a heavy volume area. So the next thing is this order block we don't need no more. But now what we're looking at is you have one here and you have one here. So we can mark those order blocks. We don't need this. For potential pullback areas. This order block we don't need no more. And then we want to do is see if market starts breaking structure to the lows. What we do is we come out, they take that liquidity, and we're not really making any good order blocks to come back and retest at this point. You can look at this one here. What I'll do is pull the volume profile from high to low. Now why isn't this working? Again, I'll pull the volume profile from high to low, and it doesn't seem to want to work here. Okay, so anyhow, we could probably, I would surmise the market's coming back down here. I don't see nothing. This order block was already mitigated. You could probably throw one here, but let's watch how it plays out. Okay, we've come down and we broke, or no, we created a double bottom. Now, a lot of times what happens on double bottoms is you're building liquidity in this level. Right? People put their stop losses here, here. You get stop losses here and here. So the probabilities that this level will hold is really not too good. We bounce and we start building into it. We start taking out, we took out these stops, and these stops. We're not building no good overhead order blocks until finally the market capitulates down. And where does it capitulate? It capitulates through that order block, tapping this one. At this point, basically, what we're left with is we can go out to the weekly, take a look. We had this order block that's already being mitigated, and then we got a pretty big weekly order block down here that still needs to be tapped into. We know down here is a strong support area. Go back out to the daily, or we can even go to the 3-day at this point. Go back to the daily, and we do have an order block that's formed right there. We can get rid of this, and we'll let this market play out a little bit, because this is our levels between here and here. We'd be looking to set up buy orders, right in about this range here. The market moves up, boom, and then comes into here. We set a couple of, set an order block there, and then we got an order block here. Our target, if we had our buy target on the, on the higher end, generally the market will come back down, retest an order block. When we hit this level, which could have been a take profit, back down, there it is, the retest on the order block. This order block's no good no more. Our next target becomes this order block. We're building a series of smaller order blocks down here. We got one here, you had one here before, and what we're doing at right now is, again, the market is building liquidity on this area. So we let that run. Boom, we hit this order block, and now what we're looking at is an order block here and here. And what do you want to do on those order blocks? You want to pull out your volume profile, swing high to swing low, and ultimately we see the highest level of volume down here. Let this play out. We bust straight through to that one, and now that's where we are today. And basically, that's the anatomy of Bitcoin's move from high to low to high to low, using your order blocks on how you can accumulate and sell your Bitcoin. Hope this was helpful. If you want to see more videos like this, more in depth, please subscribe, hit the like button, and God bless you if you made it this far.